If you If you just tune in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel, 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. We are live in the studio today, me and my co-host, Lady Parish. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Hawks family businesses who have been serving our community for over 30 years and turning Beacon Hall turning moments into memories. And also the Lady Parish Ministries, Mary Parish Ministries. So we're live in the studio today. There's a lot going on, and we want people to be safe out there with this coronavirus. We have a lot of information for you on today. So we want you to again stay safe, do all the things that you're supposed to do, wash your hands, practice the distancing, all of that. Do everything that you need to do in order to remain safe out there in our community. We will get through this. We will get through this, and I just believe that everything is going to be all right. And if we can't give you no hope, then I just have to give you some hope. Although a lot of people are very nervous and scared, I believe that we're going to be okay. Just keep doing the things that they tell you that you should be doing. I understand that the governor will be coming on at 12 o'clock today to make another announcement. Governor Phil Murphy will be on this afternoon at 12 o'clock noon to make an announcement. So I do know that we have been talking about our prayer breakfast, Westminster Christian Worship Center, that has been rescheduled to May 16th at the Sheraton Hotel. And so that has been rescheduled. And hopefully by that time, we'll all be getting back, trying to get back to normal. Lady Parish, you have some cancellations and some whatnot, and I would like for you to or I should say not cancellations, but rescheduling some things that has been postponed and rescheduled.
Yes, I do have that. Good morning, Ray. Listen, we do have the Women's Empowerment Conference scheduled to be at Beacon Hall. That has been postponed but not canceled. For the Women's Conference for Shiloh Baptist uh, in Atlantic City, that has been postponed to May 27th through May 31st. Not canceled but postponed. Also, the big 25th Women's Conference Anniversary Extravaganza that will has been postponed until May 20th. Also, we would like to say to our Shiloh Temple listeners, ask you to please spread the word in compliance with the request of New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and Surgeon General James Jerome Adams. Shiloh Temple Apostolic Cathedral will cancel services and activities until further notice. This will adhere to the efforts to reduce the risk and spread of the coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. Remember to wash your hands, social distancing, and avoid loud gatherings. These services include Sunday schools canceled, morning worship is canceled, Wednesday night prayer is canceled, Friday evening prayer is canceled. Our annual Ushers Day will be rescheduled, as well as our nurses in service. So we ask you keep washing your hands, and while you're washing them, or before you wash them, pray, then wash them again. Just be safe.
Be safe. Yes, we want everybody out there in Radio Land to be safe, not fearful,
Right,
not
right.
panic,
Not panic.
but plan.
Yes.
Plan to be safe and do the things that you know you need to do in order to remain safe. We're going to be bringing you information and on a continuous basis, and to make sure that everything is in order. There are a lot of things out there uh, via Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, don't get caught up into that. Go to the actual site.
CDC, yes, the CDC, which is give you any information that you'd like to know. Also, your news, your actual news, people, Channel 6, Action News, Fox News, all the news stations. But some people are coming up with their own, um, whatever, uh, so you can't follow that. We also have a scam alert, um, and you have to be aware of that.
Right.
Beware of the COVID-19 fraud. This scam includes fraudsters going door to door offering the COVID-19 testing for a fee and a fake decontamination services. That is fake. Don't follow it. They prey on the elderly, which I realize that I'm considered the elderly. So be careful. Protect your parents. Tell them to say no and not even on the phones.
Right, and they're talking about people coming to your actual door.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's a scam. So
That's
if
a
somebody
scam.
comes to your door talking about COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
it's a scam.
It's a scam.
All right, so just be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nobody should be coming to your door
No,
talking about anything in reference to this coronavirus
absolutely.
that has been out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's been out, for some time. But what we're trying to do is get a handle on the COVID-19 virus itself. That's what
Mm-hmm.
basically we're trying to do.
Right, right.
So we want people to be mindful of what is going on, and also there's a lot of price gouging.
Oh my. Anytime there is anything, you're gonna always have your scammers, your gougers, price gougers. But there are also email scams, and they're called phishing and spear phishing. Phishing is a fraudulent practice of sending emails claiming to be from a reputable company in order to induce individuals to reveal personal information such as passwords, credit card numbers, and even your social security number. Spear phishing is a practice of sending email seemingly from somebody you know. You might get something from somebody you think you know, and then when you click it, it's just some kind of little website for you to click onto. That's spear phishing. They're also trying to get your valuable information. Do not disclose any of your valuable information. That's
Do not.
any email, any passwords, any social security numbers.
Right.
When they call me, I said, well, you called me, you should already have it. Or get off my phone. So we have to be careful and vigilant. So be careful, be aware, and be safe.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the corona disease is out there.
Yes, it is.
It is out there, but it is a virus.
Yes, it is.
And unless you have a biochemical degree,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you really don't understand the severity of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, too, it's playing on your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful. And those that sit at the television
Mm-hmm.
all day long
Mm-hmm.
watching stuff is not good. It's not
Mm-hmm.
healthy mentally. The psychologist tells you that you should turn that off for a little bit and then go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do not stay there all day because you will become paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
And if in the event that you did have to do something, you're so gripped with fear, you will not be able to do anything that you need to do. Um, there is something out there that there is a vaccine, but I've also seen people say don't take that vaccine because it'll kill you. It's not ready yet. Right, so we want to be careful on what you're doing. I believe that if we continue to do the things that we need to do, like as Lady Parrish has said, wash your hands. Wash your hands, which our mothers told us, fathers told us for many years. Wash your hands. Continue to keep your social distancing. That means not touching people and shaking their hands and
Right.
so on and so forth because you don't know who has it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't want you walking around in fear. Now, a lot of people are still wearing the mask. And if that makes you feel comfortable, then wear it. But it's doing you no good. It is not airborne. It's not airborne. And save the mask for the medical personnel. They really
Right.
need it.
They need them. Right.
They really need that. So people, I see them in the grocery store with the mask on. It's really not doing anything. It's not the right fibers or things
Right.
that is in there that can actually protect you.
Right.
It's more psychological than
Yes.
anything. But if that makes you feel comfortable, then by all means,
Wear your mask.
wear your mask. Wear the mask.
Wear
If
the
that makes you
mask.
feel comfortable,
Yes.
please wear the mask. and it's me and Lady Parrish today.
Yes.
So we're talking concerning this, and we were talking earlier, Lady Parrish, about how do you know if you have a cold, the flu, or the coronavirus?
Right.
How do you know?
How do you know? I went on the CDC.
And what did they say?
They gave me the same explanation for everything. If you have a cold, runny nose, fever, sniffle, sneezing. If you had the flu, runny nose, sneezing, and the same thing. Coronavirus is as well. I'm not sure if there's a distinct something that says to you or a gut feeling whether you should ask your doctor for a Z-Pack, take some NyQuil, and see what happens the next morning. Maybe allergies, may not be. But if you feel yourself getting progressively worse, I
Right.
think it's time to call your medical people. Some of us do have allergies
Right.
and sneezing and carrying on. But if that's not relieved, I would say in 2 or 3 days, I would consult my medical team to see if I have more than that because they are testing. Someone said they received the test at the Atlantic City Medical Center. Another thing, Dr. Witherspoon, when we were here last week, it was nothing in Atlantic County.
That's true.
We were clean and safe.
Clean.
Somebody, I think they came from another state. I'm not even saying it. New York, Philadelphia, wherever they came from, brought that virus down here to us.
Right.
And we were down here safe. Now it's about 4 cases here.
About 4.
4.
And,
yeah.
and people are saying, well, I believe it's more than 4 cases because there are actually no tests to test
Right.
to see if there are any. But I'm going to tell you this. I was out yesterday picking up some things, and me and my sister, and I was all over this county.
Yes.
All over.
Was it empty out there, Dr. Witherspoon?
Absolutely not.
Was it crowded?
Packed.
Bumper to bumper? Was everybody exercising social distancing?
No.
Okay.
Right. I was in ShopRite. It was packed.
Packed.
I was in the dollar store.
Packed.
Packed.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go. Now, people are getting their supplies
Right.
and different things like that. Because some people say, well, you can't be around something unless there's more than 10 people. But you go to ShopRite, you go to Walmart, you go to the dollar store, and there's no social distancing, and it's all packed, and nobody's saying anything. They're not letting them in 10 at a time.
Nope.
Everybody is coming in. Now, I'm very pleased that a lot of the stores, including ShopRite, are letting the elderly come in
Such as myself.
from 7 to 8,
8.
before they open up to the public.
Right.
So I think that that's good. So to make sure that the seniors are being taken care of.
Right.
I've actually even taken some toilet paper to a senior.
Right.
So if the senior can't get out and you know that, take some toilet paper, take some toiletries, find out what they need. And I have been hearing of people doing that.
Yes.
Actually taking soaps and waters
Food,
and
yes.
things of that nature to people.
And I want to say thank you to all of those that inboxed me asking that we need help or assistance. And that was just so very kind of different ones that I'm out. Do you need anything? I'll bring it by. I thought that was so nice. Someone brought Mother Waiter's flowers the other day. Thought that was very nice.
That's nice.
So just go about doing good and be kind.
I just being good and not nasty, you know, because everybody is hyper and there's a lot of anxiety, and naturally so during this particular time. So every time you see somebody, you're, looking at them funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the racial profiling against our Asian brothers and sisters is terrible. And I do not support anything like that. And I hope you that are out there in Radio Land are not supporting anything like that. They're here in America. They did not bring the coronavirus to us.
Right.
It is here. Everybody will be affected by the coronavirus. And so now I want to talk about, Lady Paris, that some people got it, but they are okay.
Okay. Over 50,000 people recovered.
Right.
Even a baby, I think one, recovered.
Right.
So recovery is in the plan.
Right.
We don't know why or how. Some people say that it's your diet and whether you're in good physical shape and all that. But we really don't know. And we cover ourselves. I always have a wall in my house. It's called my prayer wall.
Right.
And I ask God to put a hedge of protection, not only my family, but our community. That we can't just pray for the four, me, myself, I, and my kids and all that. We have to pray one for another because this is dangerous and it is scary. And some people aren't taking it seriously. Some of our elders don't really know much about it if they're not watching TV
Correct.
or something like that. So we have to be vigilant in helping people to get through this.
And now, and also, absolutely, the coronavirus. If you have COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's the shortness of breath is what makes it
Different.
different.
Different. The shortness of breath.
Breath, the respiratory
Right.
problems,
Right.
issues.
Issues.
So that's what makes a difference. If you're not having shortness of breath and you just have a common cold,
Right.
or the flu, which in 1918 I looked up
Mm-hmm.
that this same outbreak broke out, which was over 100 years ago,
Right.
and a lot of people were very devastated then because influenza had not entered the United States at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so some people are against the flu shots because they say what they have inside of them to help them fight the disease.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work around children, you have to take it in order to be able to work around them,
Around the children, right?
around the children. So it's very it's an interesting time.
I just saw a post that someone said they were taking the temperatures as of the children as they were coming into a daycare,
Hmm.
and some of the parents wanted to be offended or upset about that. I'm thinking this is a way of protecting your child from other people or anybody that could. So they take a temperature and your child has no temperature, not a problem. But if another child comes with the temperature, temperatures are our body's warning system.
True.
Something is wrong.
True.
So don't be offended by the measures that people are taking to protect themselves and our community.
Absolutely. Now we talked also last week that if you were worked on a job that maybe you should have, well, of course most of the jobs are closed now,
Right.
but you should have checked with the policies to
Mhm.
see if you have vacation time. A lot of people still have what do you call it, when you can call in
Working from home, remote
remote,
reporting.
right? And so there's information like I know someone who passed away,
Oh.
and so they didn't know how to get in touch with the employer because most businesses are shut down.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, but they still should have some remote people
Yeah.
reporting where people can call
Right.
to get information that you need.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. Now, the unemployment line crashed.
Oh, yes, saw that.
And now I know that because I was on it.
Oh, okay.
But thanks be to God that I did have some time. If you have vacation time or pay
Mm-hmm.
that you can use, you cannot collect unemployment anyway
Mm-hmm.
until that is used up or you use it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing that, hopefully it'll give them some more time to open up. I went past the New Jersey Department of Labor one stop,
Mm-hmm.
and they had shut down at 11 o'clock
Ooh, 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 ooh.
to, protect the people who had it. Also, if you're running for an election,
Mm-hmm.
if you're running for an election and there is a certain time that your petitions have to be in,
Oh, okay.
you can email your petitions and hold on to the hard copy. I wanted to say that to people. I've already submitted mine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I missed the closeout.
Mm-hmm.
Because mine was already submitted. But if you're out there and you are a candidate and you don't know that, you have to email your petition still by the deadline.
Okay.
Because if you don't send it by the deadline, you will not be eligible
Right.
to be a part of the election that you're running in the primary. Now, the Atlantic City election was changed
Oh, okay.
from March 31st. I believe it is May 12th. I thought it was 20 something, but I'm going to look
See
at that.
Yeah.
And but they're going to be sending out mail ballots.
Right.
So people will have to vote by mail in order to be a part of that particular election.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything will be up and running in June. I really don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
But the only way that you can vote will be vote by mail.
Right.
And I don't think that those applications out for the June primary until the 18th
18th.
of April.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted my listening audience to be totally aware of what was going on out there. So if you get an application, that's only one process.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fill it out, send it in, then they'll mail you back a ballot, and then
Mm-hmm.
you vote, and then you mail it back.
Back.
So just filling out the application won't be enough.
Right.
You know, you have to do. There's a process with the mailing ballot. Me personally, I mean, I'm a machine girl.
Okay.
I believe in taking my soul to the polls. Absolutely, absolutely. And I still have the letter from uh, Steve Persky. He was an assemblyman at the time, congratulating me for signing up to be a voter. And I was like 18 years old.
Wow, that's a blessing.
That was over 40 years ago.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
And I was going in looking to do some paperwork, and I said, I still have
Still
that.
have it.
When I registered to vote. So, you know, I don't know how people be able to register to vote, but probably you can call the clerk's office.
Right.
And they got to still have people there operational, even if they're working from home, or you can download your application from online,
Yes.
you know.
But you know what, Dr. Witherspoon? There's a number, and I tried it this morning. 211.
That's true.
I'm not sure if everybody knows it, so I dialed it to see actually what does it do. But 211 has been activated to help handle this COVID-19 related calls from New Jersey residents. And all residents with questions or concerns can actually dial it and get 211. But not just that. When I was listening to it, it said, "Are you homeless? Press this. If you're this, press that. This, press another number." So it's not that, and it's also in Spanish.
Oh, really?
Right, and it's not new. It's been around since 2002, but I never dialed it to see what was going on. So it will work from your home phone, and I'm sure it will work for your cell phone. But if you want to get more information, want to get connected, want to get factual information, you can dial 211.
You can dial 211. So that's important. And I have used 211 before.
Yes,
I have, and like you say, factual
factual.
information. So you're not going on your gut feeling
Mm-hmm.
and what you feel might be happening.
Mm-hmm.
There will actually be
It was a
someone.
recording, yeah, and you press the number. I didn't press any numbers. I just heard them offer up to, I think, 5 or 6 or 7. Press this for that, press that for that, so you can press a number.
You know what? And then in this age, I found out that you have to become very tech savvy.
Yes.
If you're not technologically sound,
Mm-hmm.
it is a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. So even DirecTV,
Yes.
they let all their people go home.
Oh, wow.
So they wanted to protect their employees against the
Mhm.
coronavirus, and
Mhm.
rightfully so.
Right.
So you have to be able to figure it out.
Figure it out. And listen to the prompts. The prompts will say, and wait, be patient, and wait for them to say, press 1, press 2, and don't just hang up, and be patient.
Absolutely. So I think that's another thing is to be patient. There's no really real reason to be out there fighting over supplies.
No,
You know,
no.
there's enough. There's not a shortage of supplies.
Right, no.
They just have to restock it.
Restock. But you know, people that are hoarding, like I saw someone with like 6 or whatever packages of toilet paper. Why? You know,
I saw that too.
maybe 2. And then if you see somebody doesn't have any, give them one and say, at the checkout, go. But this hoarding things, and then the other person is going without. And the saddest picture I saw was an old lady standing at the shelves with nothing on it. And a man was lost on that little thing you ride around the store.
Yes.
And his wife was standing there, looked like 80 or 90, totally confused. So we were helping her out in the store, and she was looking for her husband. So we found him and reconnected them.
Oh, that's good. And people was crying. I was getting my hair done. I'm so grateful. Woo! Lord, I think I'm so grateful that I was able to get my hair done, because that was the last head my beautician was doing before they shut down all the barbershops,
And
salons,
the
and the nail salons. And I really needed I tried to run and get my nails done, but they was already closed. So I said I just have to.
But that's here.
I
Because my
know.
daughter-in-law yesterday was in Mississippi getting her nails done. And I said, aren't they closed? And she said, no. So it's here.
It's
But
on. That's true
Mississippi didn't
because
close.
that's true because Governor Phil Murphy has taken a lot of drastic measures to close things down. So that is true. So that's not all over the country.
All over the country, but it's here in New Jersey.
And yeah, now I feel like getting on the Spirit Airline flight
Go to Mississippi.
and to get my nails done. So, but you know what? Some things are not that important that we put a lot of, we put a lot of what's important to us may not be important at this time.
Right.
You know, if you're used to using Scotch tissue and they got Angel,
Okay. Or Good Planet or that generic brand.
or a generic brand, let's not get petty. That I can only use Scotch tissue. I can't use no other tissue than
Right.
Scotch tissue. Just take what you can get to make sure that you have the actual supplies that you need.
Yeah.
So we got a couple more minutes to talk about this before we go out on the break. So
Okay. I'm trying to see if I had anything. I was doing that difference with that allergies. The allergy says runny nose, sneezing, red, swollen eyes, itchy nose, tickle in your throat, and rarely a fever is associated with an allergy. The cold's the same thing: runny nose, sneezing, sore throat, aches and pains,
right.
mild dry cough, and the rarely a fever. This is with the cold. So there are differences. Also, like what's open and what's considered essential services
That's
in
true.
our area. The banks are considered essential. The post office, because there's still mail. What else is essential here? Some places are closed. Schools
Right.
are closed.
Schools are closed.
But-
And I've seen some things out on emails that a lot of them are not open until April the 20th.
Right.
Which tells me that there's going to be a handle somewhat on
Yes.
things by that particular time.
Let's just pray for the best.
Let's pray for the best, hope for the best, and not panic.
Right.
Plan.
Now, can I announce our next segment?
Sure.
Our next segment, stay tuned, don't move. We're going to learn the inside workings of Pastor Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. Now, she has many, many hats, whole bunch of them. But we're going to find out more about Dr. Witherspoon in our next segment. So stay tuned.
Yes, and I am just so, I don't know. I'm never lost for words. But I thought it was very nice and kind of Lady Paris. It's still Women's Month.
Yes, it is.
So still, if there's a lady out there that has been, they don't have to be famous,
No.
okay? But they've made an impact on your life.
Right.
Make sure that you thank them for it. Sometimes people I want to wait till I get a big check and give it to you. Sometimes it's the small things. Going to the takeout, because a lot of the restaurants are doing takeouts.
All right, there. Golden Corral told me I could tell them that they don't have inside dining, but they still have takeout and home delivery to the elderly.
Shore Diner.
A Shore Diner.
Touch of Italy.
Touch of Italy.
You can call a lot of the restaurants that you cannot go around to that you may have frequent that you still want that taste.
You want those chicken livers? Golden Corral. Give them a call.
So that's what you need to do is to be able to call. Now, if there is something, I don't know what the governor is going to do, shut the whole state down. Make sure that you have your supplies. So go out now early and make sure that you have everything that you need. All right? We want you to keep those dials locked to WEHA. You're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma and Lady Parrish.
The second best thing about driving home is listening to WEHA. The best thing is getting there. And that's why I'm glad when I finally get home, I can listen to WEHA on my computer. It's easy. All you have to do is go to wehavegospel.com. Not only can I hear the station, I can also see what's playing at the time, as well as what has already played before. Sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio and I want to know the name of the song and where I can get it from, And when I need to go to another website, I can always use the pop-out player to keep WEHA playing in the background while I browse the web. They make it so easy for me at wehavegospel.com. You got to check it out.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, Let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department
What's the
of Health and
difference
Human
between going to
Services and the
AtlantiCare's
Ad Council.
Comprehensive Stroke Center and going anywhere else? It's the difference between watching your grandkid ride a bike and teaching him how to ride. It's the difference between seeing your daughter get married and walking her down the aisle. It's the difference between losing what you love and living for it. When it comes to treating stroke, the difference between going anywhere else and going to AtlantiCare is everything. We're the only healthcare program with a neurocritical care team available 24/7. We have a diagnostic neuroimaging lab, and our neurosurgeons are always ready to operate if needed. And we meet the toughest standards to be a designated comprehensive stroke center. Why are we offering world-class stroke care right here?
Mrs. Thomas, your husband is in the right hands.
Because the difference is worth it. To see the difference, visit atlanticare.org/strokecare.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only
Hello,
you
I'm George
can
C.
prevent
Hi, I'm Professor J.
wildfires.
You know why I like listening to the gospel on the radio? It's easy. You turn it on, turn up the volume, and you have gospel.
Listening in the car is cool, I guess, but I'm more into listening from my computer. I just type in the website and I have gospel.
So whether you listen to gospel on the radio on 88.7 FM WEHA
Or on your computer on www.wehavegospel.com.
We have gospel.
So check out our new website, wehavegospel.com.
Tune into In the Community with Thelma Witherspoon, Saturdays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Gospel 88.7 FM. If you just tune in, you listen to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon right here on your favorite gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Hawks Family Businesses, who have been serving our community for over 30 years, and also Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories, and Lady Mary Parish Ministries. Thank you for sponsoring In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. And listen, we're going to make sure that we're able to get this information still out to our listening audience. We will do everything that we can to make sure that we're getting everything out to you. All right, Lady Paris, let's take it from there.
Okay. So today we're going to interview Dr. Thelma Witherspoon. Now, we've heard her. She's been here over 11 years. Right
Almost
here.
11.
Almost 11 years, as long as the station has been here. But she has an array of different things that she's had her hands in. We always say she wears many hats. I met her years and years ago when she was working with her dad, working with Westminster Christian, being the Girl Friday. She did everything, and so we know that. But first we're going to ask her, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'll ask her some questions while I try to get her up on our go live with her.
Oh, what can I really basically say? I've born and raised in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to Bishop Luke and Pastor Lady Juanita Witherspoon. I'm the oldest of their children. Went through the public schools, graduated from Atlantic City High School in 1980.
Woo! In 1980.
And we're having our 40th reunion this year.
Wow.
Can't believe it. I don't know where the time has gone. I'm very excited about that. I worked at the City of Atlantic City. I retired there from the Atlantic City Police Department as a civilian after 35 years
Wow.
of working for the City of Atlantic City. I just praying for the city. The city was very good to me.
Yes,
You know, I was able to raise my daughter and take care of her through the City of Atlantic City. I worked my way up. I came in as a clerk, started at 19 years old, and retired in 2016. I do a lot of things. I've been involved in a lot of things. And I got a love for politics
Yes.
at a very early age.
Okay.
When I was in high school or elementary, I liked Shirley Chisholm.
Oh, yes, yes.
And she ran for president, I believe, in 1976.
Yeah.
Or in the early 70s.
Early 70s.
Whenever she ran, and I was just mesmerized, by that. And she was like a distant mentor
Yeah.
in the political field for me, because I was like, wow. All the things that she's doing. I think the first African-American congresswoman in New York.
Okay.
So I was really, really mesmerized by that, and always had like a nick for politics,
Listen.
Yeah, so I got that. When I was young, I wanted to be Miss America.
Oh. Good.
And I would wear my mom's high heel shoes and whatnot and walk around waving. And but I didn't really know what it took to be Miss America.
Right.
I didn't know about the pageants and all of that, but I would see that on television and say, I want to be Miss America.
Oh, wow.
So I've always dreamed big. And I thank God for my parents, how they raised all of us, and they raised us to work hard, to respect people. My work ethic come from my parents, so none of us are lazy.
No.
None of my brothers and sisters are lazy.
Right.
We all work.
Yes.
And one or two jobs or a business. We're all doing something.
Right.
And that's what we tried to pass on. The love for people came from my parents too.
Right.
I've seen them sacrifice in their lives and give so much to the public. And I took that on too.
And that's good.
And I enjoy helping people is what I enjoy.
People say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's true.
And if you pursue what you love, Now, I can ask about you pursuing, but you were also the president of the Atlantic City Board of Education for
a couple of years. I came in 1999.
Okay.
There was me and Rochelle Saway.
Okay.
She was a Jewish grandmother. I was an African American woman.
Okay.
And we wanted to run for the board at the time. My daughter was in private school.
Okay.
And I paid for her to go to private school at the St. James.
St. James.
A&E. I mean, not St. James A&E, but St. James Catholic School.
Okay.
I couldn't afford a car and the tuition. I could afford the car. I couldn't afford the insurance.
Okay.
So I decided in Atlantic City, you can get anywhere.
Anywhere.
In public transportation. And if I needed a car, I would just rent one. And someone had told me that, they were going to pay for my daughter's education. And when it came down to it, they weren't able to do it. So I had already applied for her to go to St. James. She got accepted since she graduated. And so after she graduated, I couldn't afford to send her to Omar, to a private school, girls' school. She said she wasn't going anyway.
Yeah. Well, waste your time, mama. Yeah.
She wasn't going. And so I said, you know what? Actually, there was a young lady by the name of Hafisa.
Okay.
And she said to me, Thelma, what you going to do? I said, well, I'm sending my daughter to private school. There was a lot of things going on in Atlantic City. The kids were all at the old high school from the elementary. And I didn't want that for my daughter. And she said, but it's nice that you can do that, Thelma. What about everybody else?
Right.
And that always stayed in the back of my mind, but I never said anything. So after she graduated from St. James, she was going to the high school. I couldn't afford the high school, Holy Spirit, or any other private school. So I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to run for the board. And while I'm helping my daughter, I can help everybody else. So if you're not a part of the solution, you are a part of the problem.
That's right.
You know, so that's how me and Rochelle ran.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. No one thought we would win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we won.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, now what do we do? You know,
Right.
because we was just so excited about running
Running.
that we didn't think about the job. But then God blessed us on that job, and not only us, because it was 9 people on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean 11 people on the board, from the sending districts and the people that ran.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good board, and the board done a lot of things. You're just one vote on the board.
Right.
But I came in and they voted for me to be vice president. Then they voted for me to be president for the 2 years. So I came in the door like that. I wasn't looking for that, but God puts you in places, you know, and I had a wonderful time on the Board of Education. There was always some challenges, but for the most part, I loved working with the kids and the people and the staff and things of that nature.
Now you're talking about running for the board, but now you're running for something else. So you want to tell us about that?
I'm running for Atlantic County Freeholder at large.
Okay.
Not at large, for District 3.
Okay.
Which is Egg Harbor Township and portions of Hamilton Township.
Okay.
I, as you know, ran in 2017 at large.
Yes.
And it was always in the back of my mind that I wanted to do it again. But you know, everything is may not be a God thing.
Yeah.
Or may not be your time.
Your time. Your season.
And your season. So I ran, and I thought it was a very successful campaign, although I didn't win. I thought I'd done pretty good.
I thought you won, though. For about 2 or 3 days, I thought you were it.
We all thought that, but that wasn't the case. And I moved on, and I rested. I was exhausted. And so when this election came up, 2020, I had it in my mind that I wanted to run again. But as I began to do my fact finding, I had found out that I didn't have the support to run for at large.
Okay.
Celeste Fernandez had it.
Okay.
And we're praying for Celeste. She's in the hospital, and they're praying that she gets well soon.
Yes.
Very good person.
Yes.
And so I went to her last year, and I said, Celeste, are you running? She said, yes. I said, I'll support you.
Right.
100%. And I backed away from it. I said, well, maybe it's just not for me. And then Atlantic County Freeholder Ashley Bennett announced she was running for Congress.
Oh, wow.
And I live in her district. So I waited and waited, you know, and so I called her on the phone and said, listen, Ashley, if you decide to reconsider and not run for Congress and run for your seat, I'll support you 100%.
Right.
She said, Thelma, I'm not running for freeholder. I'm running for Congress.
Oh, wow.
So I waited 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
And I called her again. It was actually on the 19th of January. And I said to her, freeholder, are you still running for Congress? And she said, Thelma, I'm running for Congress. And as a matter of fact, I have already endorsed you in New Jersey Globe.
Wow.
I said, wow. I said, okay. But I couldn't say nothing at the time because I hadn't even had my interview with the committee.
Okay.
So you can't put the cart before the horse. We always were taught that God does everything in decency and in order. So I didn't want to be out of order.
Right.
So I waited until my interview, which was February 7th. Then I had to wait for another week for them to decide if I was the candidate. Then they had the convention on the 8th of March. And I waited until I was actually voted on and acclimated. And I wanted to thank Freeholder Ashley Bennett for nominating me and endorsing me to run in that seat. I really was overwhelmed, you know, by it because I didn't know she was going to suspend her campaign. I didn't know that. I don't think anybody did.
Right.
But I really appreciate the fact that she nominated me and endorsed me for her seat. And of course, I'm going to have a challenger in November, but no one is challenging me right now in the primary. So I'm looking forward to campaigning. Of course, we got to do it a different way now because of the coronavirus, but I'm still looking to be out there, whether social media, by phone or whatever, to make sure that I'm connecting with the voters.
That is so nice. Yes, yes. And then, you know, what I like what you said when you said you helped this person do that, that person helped you. and I've seen different things where it says instead of with the queens, straighten their crowns and help them. You don't put another woman down, but help them up, and that just works for me.
Absolutely.
Because if you help somebody else, somebody's there to help you too.
Absolutely.
Now, launching your career, you've been in the Board of Education, running at the police department, you're running for office, but your newest challenge, it's not a challenge, it's a labor of love. You just became a pastor.
Yes.
You just became a pastor. Now,
Yeah.
I'm a pastor's daughter.
Yes, like you.
Yes, and you became a pastor, and I know that's exciting.
It is. You know, it was humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling. My mom and my dad birthed out of ministry 44 years ago.
Yes, yes,
You know, in Atlantic City.
yes. We've been a part of that, basically. I guess.
Yeah, and I learned a lot from them.
Oh yes.
You know, working in ministry, helping people.
Yes.
When the Jeffrey Towers was on fire years ago,
Yes.
we
yes.
opened up the church and they
Mhm.
had the people come in. And
Mhm.
before there was a food bank,
Yes, yes.
we had a food pantry
Okay.
ran by Stephen Young.
Oh wow. Okay.
He wasn't Christian;
Mm-hmm.
he was Islamic,
Yep.
but he saw a need, and we accommodated
Right.
at that particular time. So this is how I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was used to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Working in, like, some people's parents are police officers and they follow that. Some are
Right.
lawyers or judges and their children
Right.
follow that.
Right.
My dad was happened to be a preacher,
Preacher.
and I followed that.
Yes. That's beautiful.
The mantle, you know, fell on me, and I was really honored because my dad has birthed many pastors
Yes, he has.
and great church workers that have come out of our ministry
Yes.
all over the country.
Right.
And he could have chosen anyone.
Anyone.
And I was praying
Uh-huh.
because I was saying, did my dad make a mistake?
No.
I did. I prayed that prior to me accepting it.
Uh-huh.
And I went to work one day at ACIT, and while I was at work, they had a animated video, some downtime to come on, Mona something. I'm not saying it right.
Yeah.
But in that film, she said, "Did my dad make a mistake?" Lady Parrish, I almost jumped out of my seat.
Wow.
And the grandmother came on and said, "No, he made the right choice."
Right.
So I just felt like that was God
Yeah.
speaking confirmation and speaking to me. So it's a challenge. Some people saying, it's a burden or you're going to be this, but I love what I do.
Yes. Yes.
I love ministry. I love helping people.
Yes.
And I know that without God, I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm praying for not just our ministry, but for all ministries and pastors, especially who are going down around in this time. This is
Yes.
uncharted territory.
Uncharted. No pastors.
No pastors
has-
ever had to deal with a
pandemic.
A pandemic.
And
Nobody.
And while we're right there for this little segment, to those listeners, stop throwing stones. A pastor that is not familiar with what we should do, how we should do it, close the church, open the church. You close the church, oh, you don't have faith. You open the church, now you have risk. Pray for us.
Exactly.
It's a very difficult decision. This was just our ministry. Pray for us because we've never dealt with anything like this in our lives.
Exactly.
So we're trying to do our best and just work with us. Some people want to run ahead of you,
Right.
or work with us.
Exactly. And I haven't judged anyone who closed or got different things that they done, but I don't think that people should have judged people who was open last week.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think that you should have done that because this is the first time
Anybody's ever.
has ever had to deal with anything of this nature.
Right.
I do know that the president called the National Day of Prayer on the 15th, and there were people saying, well, the National Day of Prayer was
Prayer,
actually in May.
right.
Yes, I know that, but every time that there's been a catastrophe or a tragedy,
Right.
every president has called the National Day of Prayer.
Right.
So when we had 9/11, President Bush called the National Day of Prayer.
Right.
And I saw on Facebook before I came in that the Pope just called for a National Day of World Prayer.
Prayer, yes.
And he said he didn't care what religion you were. He wanted you to pray for the world.
Right.
So whatever you believe in, of course, I'm Christian, so I know how I believe.
Right.
I'm going to pray for the world. And like you say, pray for the pastors
Pray
and
for
the
your
leaders
pastors,
that are in leadership. They've never done it before. Even the politicians, they've never
Never
done it before.
I was just happy to hear that our governor referenced the scripture in one of his messages or his addresses, as well as Vice President Pence. He made reference to prayer and what to do, about praying in a scripture. So, I mean, we are going to turn to prayer. That's the only thing we can do.
Absolutely. And the scripture was that God has not given us a spirit of fear,
right?
but a power, love, and a sound mind.
Right.
So we can't live in fear. We can't.
No, we can't live
Because
in fear.
you'll be crippled and you'll never be able to do anything.
Yeah. Now back to you. What do you foresee? You're in a lot of things. Have your hands in a lot of things and everything, and you're a good person, and you keep the same personality, just even, which is so nice to deal with. But as you journey into your world of politics or the community, really, it's a community service.
It's community
It's
service.
community service.
What I've been doing all my life.
All your life. Pastor's kids do it all your life.
All your life.
We don't go to people's homes anymore and scrub the bathrooms and make up the beds like we used to, because that's what pastor's kids had to do.
Exactly.
Go help the pastor and the pastor's wife. But what do you see, like 5 years from now? Where are you seeing yourself? What are you doing?
Well, I'm writing the vision.
Okay.
Right,
They're playing.
You got to write your vision. I'm doing vision boards now, thanks
Yes.
to Elder Grace Crump Holly.
Okay.
And she does a vision board and you put things down and you write it down.
Right, you do. Right.
So I got some things down that where I want to see myself going in the future that maybe I don't want to talk about right now.
Right.
But I want to be a better person.
Yes.
You don't just want to be stagnant where you are or content. I'm always wanting to be better. To whether that's improving myself, taking a course, whether that's learning something new, and a lot of people, they get where they are and they just stay there.
No, you don't want to do that.
I want to continue to grow and to be the best person that I can be and to make an impact. I was just talking to my daughter. A young man passed away in his sleep the other day, and he was 35 years old.
Wow.
And I didn't know. I know his mom, and I went by to pray with her and her son, but I didn't know until the day that he had a podcast and had millions of followers that he used with his phone, and he made an impact. And he would give credits or talk about people's music and different things of that nature. And the guy that's by the name of Weekend, I didn't know about this. Yeah, he dedicated his whole album and things to Marty Lance Weeks, who passed away suddenly. But the lives that this young man touched from his phone. From his phone. He didn't have any equipment. He had a phone, and he used that to make a difference. So that's where I see myself. I want to make a difference. And I want to thank WEHA also, for giving me an opportunity to be on the radio. That started as a 90-day trial.
Yeah.
I had never done a community show or anything. But like you say, when you work in the community, and I enjoy it, I'm in what I love, and I love what I'm in, so I enjoy it. So they said, listen, after 90 days, we can tell you it's all over with. I said, okay, I'm up for the challenge, and it's been 10 and a half years and almost 11 years, and I thank God for that, too.
That's beautiful. Yeah, so I'm proud of you, because I'm
you.
old enough to be mom.
Yes, you are.
And
you're about the
I've
same
seen
age as my mother.
Yeah, seeing your progress as you go through, and it's really inspiring and encouraging that you keep holding on and you keep doing, and you go about, and my favorite, everybody knows I say this, you go about doing good, and that's what God did. Jesus went about doing good, and when we do that, then you can go home and you can sleep and you can rest that I've done the best that I can.
Yes, and absolutely, we got about 3 minutes left.
Well, before we go, did you know that, I'm going to put it on my Facebook page, look for this, there are 250 Ivy League courses that you can take online now free. I went on the different sites. You have Harvard, Penn, Princeton, Yale, Columbia, Brown, Dartmouth, and Cornell University free. It's considered an audit, but it's still free, and you'll know more than you did before you started.
Absolutely. And it's all about making yourself better.
Better.
And my mom always had this saying, if I can help somebody
Yes.
as I travel along
This way.
then my living shall not be in vain. Listen, everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to agree with what you do.
Absolutely.
But you got to follow your dream.
Follow your dreams. And be the rainbow in somebody's cloud.
Exactly.
It costs nothing to make someone smile or happy. Just say, oh, you look good today. Oh, that's a cute smile. Oh, say something good to somebody. Don't wait for them to say something good to you.
Exactly. So that's what I live by. I love being here on the radio. I love putting out information to the listening audience. And I'm going to say it real quick. The reason why I started doing it like this.
Yes.
Because when I went through a divorce, you know, a long time ago,
right.
I didn't know what was out there.
Right.
And so by the time I would find out that Value City had socks on sale for 10 cents,
right,
the sale would be over.
Yeah, right.
You know, or things of that nature. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make my show inspirational.
Right.
And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find stuff that people can take advantage of.
Yes.
And that they can use if they need to.
Yes.
So that's how I built my show.
And you enlighten the community with a lot of things. Over the 10 years, yes, we appreciate you, Dr. Witherspoon, because you have enlightened our community with a lot of things you brought to the forefront, a lot of people you brought on your show, people we never heard of or even thought about, but you brought them on, you introduced them, and we're proud, and thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Lady Parrish, for interviewing me today for Women's Month.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it. We want everyone to stay safe. Thank you also for sponsoring my show.
Thank you.
And I got sponsors all the way through June. So, you know, July is available.
Yes.
You can go to the website, www.wehagospel88.7. WEHAgospel.com. And, of course, donate to the station.
Yes.
But if you want to sponsor my show, please put that in there and just put a note in there.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot going on. We're getting ready to go out, but continue to wash your hands.
Yes.
Look at the CDC.
Yes.
What else we say?
USA Today.
USA Today. Your news channels to make sure that you're getting accurate information, and it's just not a feeling.
Right.
It's actual information.
Information.
All right.
Correct information.
Correct information. Did you enjoy our program today? I know you did. Thanks for tuning in to In the Community with Dr. Thelma and Lady Mary Parrish. Right here on your favorite gospel, 2-time Stellar Award winning radio station, WEHA 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. Keep those dials locked to WEHA.
Thank you.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic.